and it's time once again
to recommend things.
Vince, what do you have today?
Things. I do have some comic books. The Nam. I have issues 52, 53, 60, or 67, 68, and 69 is here. 69 is here in spirit because I forgot to bring it with me. But these are the Punisher appearances in the Nam comic book. Now, there are 2 storylines here. That's why there's a break in between those things. And what I find interesting about both of these things is they're decent stories. They're short. They have a character arc, which I find interesting. Usually it's just shoot 'em up, let's kill the bad guy, and then it's over. But this one is sort of the Punisher becoming the Punisher before he's the Punisher. Finding what he is. Both of the stories are this way.
Oh, cool.
Which is conflicting. So, no, whatever. But, and in fact, Garth Ennis even did Punisher Born, which I think is a superior storyline than either of these two. But I think these two are worth reading because this is early 90s. I'm assuming this is early 90s as well. But what I find interesting is that these issues specifically, I can't speak for the overall The Nam, but I'm going to assume that there's at least similarities. It doesn't apologize for war, which is an anomaly among Vietnam things, where it's like, oh, war is so evil and we shouldn't have been over there, and we're trying to write something that's touchy-feely for that particular audience. And, you know, that's cool, but it gets oversaturated for me, because there's so much of these anti-war things that sometimes I'd rather just experience something, show a slice of life.
But you feel like you can't have something that has a war in it without it preaching against it.
Yeah.
Then it becomes a one-trick pony.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what your politics are, it becomes a one-trick pony.
That's my point. The slant is there, and there's only one version of it. And all I'm saying is, this seems somewhat unslanted. It shows people as they are within a war. And, of course, it gets a little comic booky, and it shows the Punisher doing things that people can't humanly do. But, so yeah, that's a little hypocritical of me to say. But it is interesting because it doesn't sit there and apologize the entire time. It's the bad guys are on both sides. We have bad guys in the American army. We have the soldiers' view of the Vietnamese as being bad guys.
Well, it's simply more realistic. I mean,
yeah.
in a war, everybody thinks the other person's the bad guy.
Mm-hmm. And so I support you guys reading these because it has a character arc, because it has a slight realism to it. And it's interesting to me. I just did not expect to read that in a Punisher invades the Nam comic book. I thought there's no way these were going to be good, and I was very much so surprised. So I'm not saying that these things are the cream of the crop. As I said, I think Ennis's Born is better. But, yeah, I just thought I was going to read crap, and it wasn't bad.
Well, today I'm going to recommend something for Trekkies who happen to also be comic book fans. I'm going to recommend Star Trek: The Complete Comic Book Collection, which is a computer disc that has over 500, or is it 5? Over 500 comic books, and it's like all the Star Trek comics that were printed between 1967 and 2002 from different publishers. So it's got the DC and the Marvel, and then several other publishers of Star Trek comics. And I haven't gotten real deep into this. Somebody gave me this for my birthday, and I've read a couple so far. And generally, for me, Star Trek comics seem to be kind of like Star Trek novels. They're not usually especially good. Sometimes the art will be really great, but the story won't be so good. It doesn't often happen the other way. And the problem with Star Trek in comic book form is that it's extremely hard to pace because Star Trek is so talky. And so the ones that work the best are the ones that manage to put some decent action into a good Star Trek story. And so it happens. It's there. There is some Peter David stuff on this, and so that's obviously worth reading. And there's some other people as well. Well, like I said, I haven't gotten real hip deep into this, but it's especially cool just from a historical standpoint to go back and see the older stuff and see what people were attempting to do with Star Trek in comic book form, and to look at the especially the next generation stuff that I think DC was doing, like at the beginning of Next Generation, where it was like. First, second season type stories in comic book form, because they hadn't really quite figured out what they were doing with TNG yet by that point. So it's especially funny to see it in comic book form. Anyway, so yeah, I'm recommending that mostly for people who want something cool in their Star Trek collections. And this is a really nice, cheap way to take a look at something that is tough to tell if it's going to be any good. So it's a nice little library. So anyway, that's my recommendation for this week. And thanks a lot for watching us recommend stuff. We'll recommend other stuff for you again. Next time, I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
Thanks again. See you